Discovering yourself is the biggest form of success. It is with these words of Mr. IBKB, I welcome you all to the 5th edition of Cost, the Anti-Glossophobia, reaching here live on Multimedia Plus online television, and of course our Facebook page, the Anti-Glossophobia Academy. I am your host, Augustin Martinez. The 5th edition topic reads, Public speaking as a tool to expand your professional network. And of course, I'm having a guest today for the very first time. Our guest for this 5th edition holds a BSc Honors in Business Administration, major in Human Resource Management, first class to be very much specific. Also a Master's in Business Administration, MBA, at the Institute of Public Administration and Management. He is a fine gentleman. He is a lecturer at the Institute of Public Administration and Management as well, and actually his household name is said to be one of the best young lecturer at IPAM. He is a renowned speaker, a youth advocate who have been providing mentorship and support for young civil unions, including I. He is actually recognized as one of the most 50 influential young civil unions in the year of 2019 and 2020. His passion and oratory skills are of excellent and remarkable. He has served in different capacity as a public speaker and motivational speaker for over 100 events in the year of 2019 and 2020, both online and that of offline. This personality is an individual to reckon with. He has participated in both national and international conferences, seminars, workshops, and the rest of it all. He is indeed a remarkable speaker. He is the CEO of the initiative Be Inspired Platform, BIP. Be Inspired Platform is a youth-led organization that works towards empower young people to participate actively in the society to improve themselves and of course to contribute to society. BIP is an intercultural organization that helps prepare and prepares future leaders and that of global citizens as well as change makers. This individual is indeed remarkable. He is an emblematical emblem to reckon with. My undivided viewers, permit me to welcome or introduce this fine gentleman. He is Mr. Ibrahim Kebe. Mr. Ibrahim Kebe, welcome to Quest at the Anti-Glossophobia, here live on Multimedia Plus online television, and of course our Facebook page at the Anti-Glossophobia Academy. It is with an immense pleasure having you here today.
It's a pleasure being here again. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To start with, the very first question here says that in your own perspective, how do you define public speaking?
In my own perspective, I think public speaking is a process of you informing, persuading or entertaining an audience in a more constructive way with the idea of convincing or making sure that your message reaches the audience.
If you can vividly retrospect, I did mention in my first edition that public speaking is a process or act of performing a speech to a live audience for 3 consecutive reasons I said. And of course, he did mention that again to inform, persuade, and that of entertain. You are on the right path of public speaking. Here live on Multimedia Plus online television and of course our Facebook page, the Anti-Glossophobia Academy. Yes, sir. The second question says that as a professional public speaker, in expansion of professional network, what is expected of an individual who want to expand their professional network, especially when they are business personality or when they want to generate sales?
First and foremost, you want to make sure that you have the bigger picture in mind. That is expanding your professional network. And there's a famous quote that says your network determines your net worth. It means that you have people that always lift you up. And John Maxwell once said that if you are at the top of the class, then you may be in the wrong room because you may have stunted growth. So which means as an entrepreneur, as a public speaker, it's important to always expand your network. The reason why it is important because the more you grow, the more you lift others up, okay? And the more light you are privy to, the more you shed your light on others too. So which means that even as entrepreneurs, you may want to sell your product. And as entrepreneurs, selling is primary to your life. Even if you're sleeping and you wake up one morning, you should be ready at all times to sell. So which means one big way of you selling that, let's say in public speaking events, you have pitching events, you have trade fairs. These are all events wherein you can make yourself known, wherein you can establish a strong network, wherein people will say, what? I think I buy into this man's idea. So the readiness and the willingness must be part of you.
Great. So, an expansion of your network, you must be having the bigger picture in your mind of expansion of your network. Then, secondly, as you did mention that you must make sure that you are always prepared whenever you attend programs like entrepreneurship conferences, seminars, and the rest of it all. Yes, sir. The third question here says that what are the skills that is required of an individual who wants to expand their professional network?
Okay, wonderful question. I think one of the skills needed is persuasion. As a public speaker or someone who is interested in being an effective public speaker, you should aim at always convincing, trying to persuade people to buy into your idea. That's very much important. Remember, you asked a couple of minutes ago if you have 5 minutes of someone's time, you should be persuasive enough for them to actually set an appointment with you for another date. Okay, so one of the important skills is you making sure that you are persuasive, trying to convince whoever you are talking to. And secondly, again, I think you must be resilient. Resilience is important. The reason why you may be knocked down by perhaps 5-10 occasions, and you should not stop. Remember that you should not stop. In fact, a lot of people, when they approach an investor or maybe a business tycoon, if they are turned down, their whole life turns, their whole lives feel embarrassed, they feel very sad, and you should see that as an opportunity to give it another try, because remember, you want to expand the professional network, and there is a very famous saying that says your network determines your net worth. And it's important. The reason why it's important, maybe the investor that you are actually talking to perhaps will not be your solution maker, or perhaps he can be a referrer. He can send it to some other person. Okay, so that's how your network expands, and you should be a go-getter. You should not be that shy person. You should always want to network. You should always have that spirit of wanting to be around people and go around them and also want to learn from them. Because learning again is another key element. You should learn and grow continuously. Okay? And the experience kicks in the momentum. Okay? The more you meet more people, the more you are able to engage more people. And remember, even if you have the contact of, let's say for instance, let us use a Sierra Leonean. Let's say you have the contact of, let's say,
The managing director of Glossophobia.
okay, let's say you have the managing director's contact. One problem I normally encounter with a lot of mentees is the fact that they only run to you when they have problems. Okay, and in establishing a professional network, you should not run to your network when you have problems. You should always try to keep the line alive. You should always try to, just as a text message is just as important as calling one. So sometimes you want to make sure that you send messages sometimes to check on how they're doing, or sometimes just a phone call. But many a time you often see people, they only call you when they have problems. And if I want to allow you into my circle, I'll have to think twice. Because remember, investors, tycoons, they have a very small circle of people that they get in. So you have to do a lot if you want to be in that. It's very important.
Yes, sir. The very last question here says that as a professional public speaker, just imagine in a situation where an individual happens to attend a conference or seminar or workshop and they want to expand their professional network. What would be the first steps, or what would be the message that the individual is expected to approach the high personality or the dignitary with?
I think if you want to be in the journey of public speaking, you should take away the aspect of you being shy, okay? Because it is something that limits you from reaching your potential. And it is something natural. It is not something that you say it's artificial. It's natural. Every great public speaker was once a poor speaker. That's what we should know. And for the fact that you have those goosebumps, you have those little bumps in your tummy, you have to go for it. But remember, when you want to attend events, seminars, workshops, trade fairs, pitching events, you should go there prepared. You should. It's a must. Even the greatest of all the speakers, if you think of Martin Luther King Jr., you think of Barack Obama, and a lot of them, you must prepare. It is important that you prepare before going for an event like that. It's so important. If you look at the footballers who are making name all over all the place, they spend a lot of time in the practice field. Okay, if you quite recently, Cristiano Ronaldo scored his first free kick for Juventus, and he had made over 50 attempts. Okay, so that tells you that you should keep on trying. But remember, when you want to attend events like that, you should go there prepared. The reason why you should go there prepared, because you never know when the opportunity will come forth. Remember, luck equals opportunity plus preparedness. You must be prepared. So when you are prepared, you just tap into the opportunities. But the opportunities might be there, but if you're not prepared, then how would you tap into them? So you must go there prepared. And remember, you should sometimes practice at home. How do I approach? How do I talk to respectable people? And remember, your language should be formal. It should not be loose, because it's something again that I often find that some young public speakers coming up, their language is so loose. They don't know when to address people formally, and it's important when you attend formal events like that. You should always know that you should be formal. And there is one other tip again: you should dress well. Remember, there is a saying that says first impression goes a long way. So imagine you want to attend a conference and you're all dressed like informally, or someone who is not. So I'll have a very fun, if I'm an investor, I'll see like someone who's not sober, because sometimes the people address you the way you dress, and it is so predominant in our African culture. I hope you get to the point. So you want to dress formally. So that's a first impression. When I see someone walking up to me dressed formally, I may tend to give that individual attention, because I see some amount of responsibility in you. So after that, I also want to listen to what you have to say. And you should be constructive, and you should be persuasive, and you should be engaging. Because at the end of the day, that's not the first day you're going to encounter that individual. You want a second chat. You want a second meeting. So that first meeting is your do or die. So you have to make sure that you convince that at the end of the day, you become persuasive.
That was very much impressive. So, sir, in your concluding statement, what would you advise to speakers out there who want to expand their professional network?
Thank you again for having me, and I'm very much honored to be your very first guest. And I think in my concluding statement, if you want to expand your professional network, you should be very much prepared for that. And it's a journey. Public speaking is a journey. And even sometimes when I attend conferences, I normally have goosebumps. You know, sometimes in some conferences where you see a lot of mentors there, you see a lot of other great speakers there. So sometimes you may be thinking, how do I give my best? But remember, I did say you have to be authentic. You have to be very much, how do I call it? You have to be very much authentic. You must wear confidence. It's important, you know. So public speaking is very much important, and it is something that actually paves the way for you to develop your network professionally. I remember when I traveled a couple of years ago, there was an event where every participant from different countries should make a presentation. So it's important that we understand that part, that when once you are in the forum, or when once you are given the opportunity to talk, try to always be convincing and be persuasive, because that could be your eureka moment. That's where you may hit the sky. That's where you may hit the ground rolling.
This is how I draw down the curtains of today's edition of Quest, the Anti-Glossophobia, here live on Multimedia Plus online television, and of course our Facebook page, the Anti-Glossophobia Academy. The quotation for today's reads, "Discovering yourself is the biggest form of success," by Mr. Ibrahim Kebe, who happens to be our guest. Thank you so much for viewing us or watching us. I am your host, Augustine Martinez.